Welcome to another review with the Law and Order Lady. We're going to be reviewing Law and Order SVU Season 26, Episode 5. It's called The Economics of Shame. Yes, so you know how we do it. How did it begin? What happened? Who did it? Why? And how did it end? Okay, so how did it begin? It began with Kelsey, that we know of, Kelsey Summers, she's a reporter, and she's coming into a restaurant and she's on a date. She's on a date with this guy named Tyler. So in this date that she's on with Tyler, we get to see that she hasn't been dating in a while. Sorry, something in my eye. And we notice that she's really nervous, but she seems to be okay. After he kind of welcomes her in and gets her all comfortable and everything, she seems all right. Then we next see them after the date going to the hotel room. And things are getting busy. So she's having relations. And then the next day she's in the same dress. She's in the same dress because she has such a good night, it seems. So her friend says, well, it must have been a really good date. And so while she's talking to her friend, Tyler sexts her. A sext is a text with sexual material in it. Nude photos, etc., etc. I know y'all know what it is, but some people don't, so I'm explaining it. So he sends her a really sexy, kind of half-naked picture of himself, right? And she sends him one back, a provocative picture, and he's like, well, that's all I get. So she goes to the bathroom, and I'm like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be sending no naked pictures to men or women for that matter, because anything that goes through the internet is now on the internet. So anyway, she takes a nasty picture herself, and I won't say nasty, she takes a sexy picture of herself. And in this sexy picture, she sends it to him. Big mistake, lady, big mistake. Don't send pictures. Seriously, don't. And this is the reason why. Because what happened? Well, she comes into her mom's house and she's going all crazy and stuff with worry. You could see that she is totally flustered, like she's in gym clothes and everything. And then she calls Tyler and she's like, well, why are you doing this to me, Tyler? She is being blackmailed by Tyler because he wants $50,000 or he's going to send her sexy photos to everyone that she knows and probably people that she doesn't know. Well, she's a big time reporter. She just received an award and she's really good with the public, and they finally trust her and they trust her judgment. Well, she obviously was in a bad relationship before because she's crying. Now she's on the ledge of the roof and her mom is like, what's going on? Because when she came into her mom's house, she was like, Mom, let me see your phone. She was just trying to see if Tyler had sent those pictures to her mother, right? So Tyler didn't, not yet, of course. So anyway, she's up on the roof. She's about to jump. Okay. And I'm like, why is she going to jump over some sexting pictures? Okay. If people get the pictures, okay. Everybody is doing it. It's not right, but everybody is doing it and everybody's kind of used to it. So why is she tripping? She's tripping because she was in a previous relationship and the person was trying to control her. And she feels like Tyler is doing the same thing, trying to control her. So we cut to the fact that Olivia is now on the scene. Olivia, Finn, Detective Bruno, they're all on the scene and they're trying to see what's going to happen. So we know Olivia, she goes up there and she tries to talk her down, which she's so good at. She's so good at everything. I just love her. But anyway, she talks to her and she says, let me help you. Well, I understand somebody has betrayed your trust. Did you see how she ran that? She wasn't up there like, okay, somebody sent you your sexting tape and somebody's going to blackmail you and somebody's, doing this and this. She used the perfect wording. She said, somebody has betrayed your trust. And in doing so, that gave her credibility with, Kelsey. And Kelsey gets down. She actually gets down and she lets Olivia help her. And they cut to her being in the psych ward and she's talking to Olivia. And she's also talking to Captain Curry and they're present. And she's telling them, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not crazy. I'm all right. I don't need any medication. I'm worried. I'm stressed. And what I really, really need is somebody to help me in this particular position. Hold on, guys. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But I was thirsty. Anyway, my throat is, I'm getting laryngitis or something to that effect. Anyway, enough about me. So who did it, right? So we know that Tyler did it, basically. And then Carisi comes in and he talks to Olivia in her office about Tyler because he wants to help too. Tyler has now recorded them having sex. So now it's not just sexing pictures. It's Tyler had recorded the sex act that Kelsey and him had. And he's really trying to blackmail her. Like I said, he wants $50,000 or he is going to spill the beans. He is definitely going to send the video. We don't want that. Well, her ex took everything from her before. So now she's really worried and she's taking things a lot more serious. And she's saying that her credibility is going to be ruined. You know, people won't take her seriously at her job. And I agree. People might not trust her judgment because she did what she did. People might not trust her credibility. It might be shot. Well, they have to get this guy. So why? Why did he do it? Well, they traced the number and they didn't find any matches in the system. And this is actually going around from what they understand because another girl was affected, a 19-year-old girl. So Liv goes to talk to her and she finds out that she too was using an app and she met somebody and she felt betrayed too because after she dated that person for weeks and weeks and then they finally did the thing that he demanded $50,000 as well, or he would send out the pictures, the video, and everything that he had with her. Well, this young woman's parents died in a tragic accident, and she got a settlement. Now, she's taking care of her sister. So it's her and her sister, and they get this money from the settlement from their parents, and she ends up having to pay this guy $50,000 of that settlement because she doesn't want it out there in the world. She doesn't want her sister to see it. So, wow. Because now she has to spend the money that her parents have given her. That's sad. That's so sad. Now, so they figure, well, we can't find the guy. He has no DNA in the system or nothing like that. We can't do anything at this point. So now we need Kelsey to contact Tyler. So she calls him and she says, you know, I got your money. Call me back. So does she get a call back? No. She gets a text. But while she's getting the text appears on the screen in the office, in SVU's office, because they set it up like that. Sort of like a sting, right? So the person says, you got my money, basically. And they said, okay, I want you to put it in a paper bag and I want you to put it in, walk down the street. You'll know where to put it. So she's walking down the street, Kelsey is. She's got the money. And then this trunk opens up in front of her. And she's like, oh, okay, I guess that's where I'm supposed to drop this money. So she puts the money in the trunk and she closes the trunk, right? So then we see this guy pull up. Actually, he walks up there. So how does it end? Well, the guy walks up, he opens the trunk, he takes out the cash. They own him. Girl, they own him. Y'all, they own him like flies on blank, okay? Immediately, they get him. They arrest him. And then they talk to Ruby and they say, do you recognize this guy? And the guy is in the SVU's office. Well, actually, he's in the interrogation room and he's trying to tell them he was blackmailed too. So he was blackmailed too, but he didn't have $50,000. So what they required of him is for him to work it off. So he was the go-between man. He was the one that searched Instagram, found all these wonderful women or men, and hooked these guys up to tell them, you know, who they should basically try to extort. Because that's extortion. And anyway, and it's blackmail. So what they're trying to do is catch these guys, of course, because I thought it's got to be more than one person, because all of this couldn't happen and get hooked up by one person, right? So the one guy that they're talking to in the interrogation room tells them that he was fired from his job because of AI. And I stopped this and I'm starting to talk about AI because Carisi said something that kind of got to me. He said another career is on life support because of AI. And if you guys know anything about what's going on right now, AI has been replacing people at this time in big companies as well as small. So they find out from this guy that the guy's name is Constantine, the one that they really need to catch up with. So they like, okay, we need to get this guy. Yeah, you do, before I get him. But anyway, so we got coercion, grand larceny, possession, blackmail. All of these things are crimes. So they're asking Neil, the guy they have in an interrogation room, to basically run a sting. We want to basically get him. So Tyler was picked up because Neil ended up getting in contact with him. So they're running out of time though. So Detective Velasco goes undercover to meet this girl that happens to have blackmailed Neil in the first place. Y'all, this whole thing is like dun 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 dun. So anyway, he sets her up. He impresses her, basically. He looked quite handsome, actually. And then she wants to go to the room to get the hookup so she can video, right? Well, they like, no, you know, he not doing that. He's like, give me your number, I'll text you. So he gets the number. She leaves. She goes down the street. She gets paid by this guy in a car. And they're like, we're going to get this guy. So they immediately swarm him. They arrest him, right? Because he's paying her. I knew it had to be more than one person. So they finally get Constantine. They tell him they're going to hit him with extortion and blackmail, unlawful surveillance, and he's going to get 10 years per count. And then they arrested Audra, and she's talking, and she's like, okay, well, I used to go to this guy's house named Basil, you know, because they get to the nitty gritty. So they go to Basil's house, Warren and all. They arrest his butt. And they're like, okay, you finna get hit with these charges. Your brother's finna get hit with these charges. Y'all both going to jail. So they had this fancy lawyer in there that's basically trying to tell them ain't nothing gonna happen. And Basil eventually just dismisses her. He's like, I'm ready to listen. So it's turned around because now they have the guys, and now they Basil goes to court even though he pleads not guilty. You know, the judge ain't trying to hear that. So he remands him over to the jail until, you know, it's time for his trial. So the good thing about this is that Kelsey was so worried about this, and she was so worried about losing her job because eventually, after they get Basil in court, the tapes are released. So the video goes everywhere to everyone, and I mean everyone. And her office sees it. I mean, how embarrassing. Seriously, how embarrassing. So anyway, Kelsey starts interviewing Neil about what happened to him. And come to find out, he was wrongfully terminated. So he gets to sue his former employer. But not just that, but Olivia tells her to do this, to turn it around so that it doesn't look like she's so embarrassed and stuff about this. So basically she pretends like she was in a sting. She was undercover. And while she was undercover, this was her job in order to do this, because she wanted to make sure as a good reporter that she wasn't just reporting about it, that she was actually doing something about it. So I love that. I love that. So that basically saved her job, okay, and saved her reputation. So, I mean, wow, that's a good way to cover it up, right? So it covers it up. And then NYPD, now that they have these guys, Olivia goes back to Audra and she tells her that we got him. And Audra's like, well, can I get my money back? Because I'm trying to go to college and all this stuff. And Olivia's like, okay, you know, we seized the money and everything, but what we're going to do is we're going to write you a check. It's going to take a minute, but we're going to write you a check. And eventually the people are going to get their money back, and they're going to get the videos back, and they're going to get the photos back after everything has been processed into evidence against these guys. So I loved it. I mean, I loved it because this is a real scenario. And it could have been in real time. Things like this happen every day. So I would suggest, this is just my opinion. And I'm no one, so, except the Law and Order lady. I mean, I would tell you that sexting is wrong. Not just is it wrong, but it can get you in trouble. If you're sending sexting, just texting some words can get you in trouble. Because if somebody sees it, misunderstands it, there you go. But a picture, an outright picture of yourself, never. Like, never. Can I say it again for the people in the back? Never send a nasty picture, a sexy picture, anything with your clothes off to somebody else, because once it's on the internet, it's there forever. Anybody can get it, and anybody can use it against you. Even a husband, even a wife, they can use those things against you. It's just not in your best interest. Now, whatever you do in your bedroom with your wife or your husband, that's y'all's business. But I'm just telling you, if you're in the dating world, it's not a good idea. So that's how it ended. I love the video. If you have any comments about the video, please leave them down below, because I would really appreciate it. I really like to know what you think. So I'll see you guys next week in the next video. And think about subscribing. I mean, I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel, because we talk about everything. I do law and order organized crime as well, but more than that, we are SVU fans and have been since the beginning. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.